Welcome to English Audio Club. Today, we bring you a story that explores love, choices, and the unexpected twists of life. So, let's begin. My name is Emily, and I am 33 years old. I work as a nurse in a hospital, a role that requires dedication, patience, and compassion. My job is to care for sick people, providing them with the treatment, comfort, and reassurance they need during difficult times. Every day, I work long hours, sometimes during the day, and on occasion, through the night. The shifts can be exhausting, but I truly love what I do because I find great fulfillment in helping others. Seeing patients recover, knowing that I contributed to their healing process, brings me an undeniable sense of purpose. For a long time, my life was quiet and routine. Before last year, I lived alone. I had no boyfriend, and though I had colleagues, I didn't have close friends with whom I could share my thoughts and feelings. Most of my days were consumed by work, and I hardly had time for socializing or leisure. My body and mind were constantly drained from the long hours and emotional demands of nursing. Whenever I had time off, I would visit my mother, who lives in a small town outside the city. She is elderly and requires assistance with household tasks, so I did my best to help her whenever I could. Spending time with her was one of the few comforting moments in my routine. It felt good to care for her the way she once cared for me. But overall, my life felt predictable, simple, and uneventful. Then, one day, everything changed. A new doctor named Matthew joined our hospital. He was 31 years old, making him 2 years younger than me, and right away, I noticed how handsome he was. He was tall, with brown hair and striking blue eyes, but his most captivating feature was his warm smile, the kind that instantly put people at ease. It wasn't just his appearance that made him stand out. Matthew had a friendly and genuine personality, which made him well liked by everyone, especially the nurses. He was thoughtful, and always treating people with kindness and respect, regardless of how busy or stressful the hospital environment could be. At first, I assumed he wouldn't even notice me. I have always thought of myself as an ordinary woman, not particularly slim, not the kind who turns heads when she enters a room. I don't wear fancy clothes or spend much time on my appearance. My hair is plain and simple, and I have never considered myself to be conventionally beautiful. I truly believe that someone as charming and admired as Matthew wouldn't have any interest in me. But to my surprise, he did notice me. Matthew started talking to me, not just about work, but in a way that felt personal and sincere. He would ask me how my day was going, and he always smiled when he saw me. His presence was comforting, and the fact that he took the time to acknowledge me made me feel special in a way I hadn't felt in years. I never imagined that someone like Matthew would be interested in someone like me. Then, one day, he offered to give me a ride home. I hesitated at first, but I eventually said yes. His car was nice, clean, and well kept, and as we drove, we talked the entire way. The conversation flowed naturally. We spoke about our jobs, our lives, and our families. For the first time in a long while, I felt genuinely happy. Talking to Matthew was effortless. He was easy to open up to, and I found myself smiling throughout the ride. After that day, everything felt different. Matthew started driving me home regularly. It became a quiet routine, one that I cherished more than I had expected. Some days, he would surprise me by bringing coffee or tea to work, always remembering how I liked it. During lunch breaks, we would sit together in the cafeteria, sharing stories about our patients, laughing over small moments, and exchanging thoughts about life. The more time we spent together, the more I found myself drawn to him. I admired his kindness, his ability to listen, and the way he made even the most exhausting days feel lighter. I started looking forward to seeing him, counting the moments until his warm smile greeted me again. Then, one weekend, Matthew asked if I wanted to go to the movies. We both had the day off, and without hesitation, I said yes. The evening was perfect, comfortable, effortless, filled with laughter. After the movie, we took a long walk, talking for hours beneath the city lights. Everything felt right. I felt happy, happier than I had in a long time. I started to believe that maybe Matthew liked me just as much as I liked him. But then, a few days later, he said something that shattered my happiness. "Emily, I need to tell you something," he began, his voice quieter than usual. "I am married." The words hit me like a sudden storm, leaving me momentarily breathless. Married. He had never mentioned a wife. There was no wedding ring, no signs, no subtle hints. How could I have not known? Matthew explained that he had been married for 5 years. His wife's name was Laura, and they had no children. He told me he wasn't happy in his marriage, that he and Laura had little in common. He admitted that they rarely spent time together, each lost in their own world of separate interests. Then, looking straight into my eyes, he said something that made my heart ache. "I like being with you, Emily. You make me happy. With you, I can be myself." I was left in turmoil. I cared for Matthew, but I didn't want to be the reason someone's marriage fell apart. The weight of that realization was suffocating. I found myself questioning everything. Why had he chosen me, when he already had a wife? A wife who, I imagined, must have been beautiful, charming, everything I wasn't. It didn't make sense. Why would he seek comfort in me when he already had someone by his side? I spent days consumed by these thoughts, unable to find peace. Was it wrong to continue seeing him, or would walking away be the right thing to do? I didn't want to hurt anyone, but selfishly, I felt happy whenever I was with him. Then, a few days later, something happened that forced me to confront reality. I went to a large supermarket in the city to buy groceries. I was moving through the aisles when I heard a familiar voice, Matthew's voice. He was speaking to someone. I saw him before he saw me. He was with a woman. And in that moment, I knew it was Laura. She was stunning. Tall, elegant, effortlessly beautiful, like a model. She wore expensive clothes, perfectly styled hair, and carried herself with grace. But what struck me the most was the way she smiled. A warm, genuine smile. They were laughing together, standing close, their ease with one another undeniable. They looked happy. And I felt something deep, something painful, a sadness I couldn't explain. I left the supermarket quickly, not wanting them to see me. As I walked home, my thoughts spiraled. If he was so unhappy, why did they look so comfortable, so joyful together? Had he been honest with me, or had I simply believed what I wanted to hear? At home, I couldn't stop thinking about it. The image of Matthew and Laura together lingered in my mind, replaying over and over like a scene I couldn't escape. Why did he spend time with me when he had a beautiful wife? Why had he chosen me? I felt torn between two conflicting emotions, joy and guilt. I had never been as happy as I was when I was with Matthew, but was my happiness coming at the cost of someone else's? I didn't want to be the other woman in his life. I wanted to make the right decision, but the truth was, I didn't even know what the right decision was. The weight of uncertainty pressed down on me. That night, I struggled to sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw his face, his kind expressions, the warmth in his voice when he spoke to me, the way I felt safe with him. But I also saw Laura. The way she smiled at him, the easy familiarity between them, the life they had built together. She was stunning, graceful, elegant, seemingly perfect. How could he claim he wasn't happy when he had her? What did I have that she didn't? The next day, exhaustion clung to me like a weight I couldn't shake. My eyes felt heavy, my body slow, my heart unsettled. I didn't want to see Matthew, but I knew I had to talk to him. When I finally saw him at work, he greeted me with a smile, as if nothing had changed, as if everything was just as it had been before. But I couldn't smile back. "I need to talk to you," I said, my voice steady despite the turmoil inside me. He looked at me, confused. "What's wrong, Emily?" I took a deep breath. "I saw you at the supermarket with your wife," I said. "You looked happy. I don't understand why you're spending time with me if you're happy with her." For a brief moment, his expression faltered. He seemed lost in thought, as if searching for the right words. Then, sadness settled into his eyes. "I'm not happy, Emily," he admitted. "Laura and I don't have the same connection that you and I have. With you, I can be myself. You make me feel alive." His words tugged at something deep inside me, yet instead of comfort, I felt unease. Could I really believe him? I liked Matthew, more than I wanted to admit. But I didn't want to be the reason someone's marriage fell apart. I couldn't allow myself to be the complication in his life. So, I made a choice. "I need time," I told him. "I need to think about this." Over the next few days, my thoughts consumed me. Every moment alone was filled with questions. Was Matthew telling me the truth, or had I only heard what I wanted to believe? Was my happiness worth this uncertainty? I confided in my best friend, Sarah. She was always brutally honest, never sugarcoating things just to spare my feelings. When I told her everything, she sighed deeply. "Emily, you deserve someone who can be with you fully. Don't settle for less." Her words hit me harder than I expected. She was right. I had spent so much time thinking about Matthew, about his marriage, about his problems. But what about me? Did I want to build my happiness on fragile ground? Did I want to constantly question where I stood? A week later, Matthew called me. He wanted to meet and talk. I was nervous, but I knew I couldn't keep avoiding the inevitable. I had to be honest with him, and with myself. We met at a park, the air thick with unspoken words. When he looked at me expectantly, waiting for my answer, I knew I had to say what I had been feeling all along. "Matthew, I care about you, but I can't be in this situation," I said, my voice quiet but firm. You need to decide what you really want. If you're not happy with Laura, then you should talk to her. But I can't be the other woman in your life. His face fell, but I saw understanding in his eyes. I care about you, Emily, he said. I will think about everything. I just want you to be happy. We said goodbye, and I walked away feeling both sad and strong. I had made the right decision, but it wasn't easy. Life is full of difficult choices. Sometimes they hurt. Sometimes they leave scars. But choosing what's best for ourselves is never the wrong choice. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more heart-touching, real-life inspired tales, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a story. Your support means the world, and I'll see you in the next one.